So, hello friends, greetings to everybody, both here and in the room. I'd like us to begin with a guided meditation. So please make yourself comfortable and we'll sit together for about half an hour. And then I'll share some words on Dhamma. I'll just give a little bit of guidance for the meditation. And so you're settling in, getting comfortable, wherever you are, however you're seated. It's good to be sitting if possible, whether in a chair, on a cushion, on the floor, wherever. Very helpful to have an upright posture. So pay attention to the spine, feeling the position of the spine and the hips and the head, and kind of straightening up. Feel the alignment, just through kind of rocking, moving around a little bit, we can really get the prime position for an upright and also relaxed posture. So letting everything hang loose from the spine. The sort of framework of the body is the pelvis and the spine, isn't it? Sitting firmly, sitting upright, and coming into the body, bringing the attention into the body. And we can actually start to notice any areas within the body that are tense or tight, where there's any kind of holding. Just bring the attention to any tense areas. You don't have to do anything else, just rest the attention there. Breathing in and breathing out, noticing the breath. Breathing into those areas. So we have breath awareness and we have kind of scanning of the body to assess the situation. And as we pay attention to the body, particularly any tense or uncomfortable areas, bring in that quality of kind attention, kindness, kind of a good wish, a wish for well-being. We can apply our kind attention to the areas that kind of call out for attention, for ease, for relaxation. So noticing perhaps the shoulders, maybe the jaw, places where we tend to hold and stiffen up. Maybe the tops of the legs, tops of the arms. And maybe the belly, the abdomen, we can hold quite tightly, a little bit clenched. See if you notice any tension or tightness there, and just breathing in to any areas of tension. And slowly but surely, we can appreciate relaxation, letting go. And as the muscles start to relax, then there's a kind of warmth that comes in. And we can breathe a little bit deeper, right down into the belly, deep down. Feel the breath now. Feel the breath coming into the body, opening up, bringing energy, bringing vitality. And breathing out, even more relaxation, letting go, softening, releasing. So we can pay attention to the breath and the body and allow the steady rhythm of the breath, natural breath, normal breath. Just allow the rhythm of the breath to do its work as the body relaxes. The tension dissipates. We kind of sink into the earth. Grounding, settling, coming into a more peaceful abiding. And as the body relaxes, the mind can also relax and find some peace through our paying attention to the body here, now, this embodied experience. So let's keep coming back to the body, resting here, resting in the temple. Come into the temple and sit down. We can let all our cares go, put aside, and simplify. So let's enjoy some time now in silence, being here, learning from, observing, witnessing, feeling out what it is to be here in this body with this breath. Welcome again, friends. And I'd like to offer some words of Dhamma. But first of all, I'll take the chance to pay respects to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sangha namasami. So big gratitude to everyone who's been sitting just now with us. I think even though we're in all different places, in all different countries, in all different time zones, in all different situations, and we don't necessarily know each other, actually, as people, as personalities. Nevertheless, when we sit and meditate together, I don't know about you, but I feel the benefit. I feel the support. I feel the encouragement of the collective, of the Sangha, the group. And I think that's really something almost palpable sometimes, where I may not have the patience or the determination. I may not have a mind that's kind of clear and peaceful enough just to be able to sit always on my own without fidgeting and maybe thinking of something absolutely essential that has to be done right now. Something compelling that gets me up off the mat. And so these kind of qualities that help us to, make the effort, make the determination to sit, and hopefully daily sit together or to sit on our own. It's something really to cultivate, and it's not always easy. And so to come together, clearly, it helps. It helps so much to have some kind of schedule, to have some kind of daily discipline, and to just keep making that time available. And the fortunate thing, of course, is that we're creatures of habit, aren't we? And so once we started to have a daily practice at a certain time, say in the morning, in the evening, then we, after a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I think it is, there's a kind of threshold. And we get to the point where this becomes a habit. And it's a good habit to cultivate meditation practice. We can have good habits as well as hold on to less wholesome habits, can't we? And actually, we can utilize our tendency to get into, enjoy, depend upon, benefit from a daily routine. And so then we can make it good. We can choose how we spend our time and consider carefully, bring in, practices that lift the mind, develop mindfulness, recollect the teachings of the Buddha, and put them into practice. And so I'm definitely myself very grateful for community. And, I actually became a nun in order to take strength, take heart from living with like-minded people. I think the beauty of our situation nowadays is that we can have that community, the sense of community, through use of technology and connecting online. And to me, it's almost as helpful in terms of the sense of being together, supporting one another in our practice. But we can also learn from others, isn't it? We can learn from living with others in community, interacting with others at work, family relationships, all these often challenging relationships, as well as rewarding relationships, can really teach us so much. And it's a bit like looking at nature or walking in nature. You can literally see the Dhamma there, don't you think? Nature has this extraordinary balance and a kind of rightness to it. Things are doing what they do. Here where I am at the moment in Canmore, up in Alberta, in Canada, the spring is just really manifesting all around us. And the trees are beginning to come into leaf just now. And all of a sudden, just in the last few days, we've gone from a kind of wintry feel to all this beautiful, fresh, tender green leafage everywhere around. And the animals are livening up, the birds are livening up, there's lots of rabbits running around, and we have little interesting visitations from the wild animals occasionally, who are kind of pushed to the fringes of their comfort zones by the human footprint, the human habitation. And sometimes they come into the town, the bears. We have elk roaming around, and there are various cougars and coyotes and lynxes, all sorts of interesting animals in the terrain around the town. And all of this nature is doing what it does. You know, it's in tune. Creatures follow their Dhamma. They have their way of living. And it's evolved, hasn't it, over countless millennia. And everything kind of flows in nature. And we can observe all of that and really learn so much. As Ajahn Chah said, look around in nature and truth is all that you see. Truth, the way things are. And then coming back to human relationships, we're also surely, you know, creatures of nature. We're part of the planet. We're animals too, and we're programmed as well. We're kind of conditioned as well. We have our instincts. We have our ways of surviving. Not so very different. We have to eat, we have to drink, we have to use the toilet, we have to sleep when it's usually night time. We're programmed to, conditioned. The necessity to sleep is there for us. So we're following the rhythms of nature, for sure. We can't not do that. But we've also managed to make things very easeful for ourselves, haven't we? As a species, we're so successful, we're so intelligent. You know, we've managed to kind of reduce the amount of work that we need to do in order to survive. And instead of having to go out struggling and, you know, foraging and hunting for our food and going hungry probably, as we would have done in the past, quite often. Instead, now we just get the money out and go shopping, and we can get what we need very easily. Sure, we have to work in order, most of us have to work in order to earn the money to get the food, but it's not so difficult to fit into the society if we're lucky, if we have enough conducive conditions to enable us to get educated and to find some kind of way of fitting into a niche and participating in society. And it's a very different kind of experience than we would have had back in deep time before we started to develop skills, the agricultural skills and the industrial revolution and so forth, where we've made and we've created this incredible comfort zone for our species. But still, even so, we can still see that we have we're part of nature. We have human nature. Our human nature is really something to learn from. And when we come together with other human beings and we share experiences and, live together and notice how we sort of rub together and some operate, sometimes there's frictions, and all of the interactions, the chemistry, the experiences of community are teaching us. We can learn about nature from one another. It's all Dhamma. And for me, the really key aspect of the Buddha's teachings is that all that we experience, all the learning that's going on throughout life, all the seeing, the hearing, the sights, the sounds, the tastes, the touches, smells, the thoughts, the concepts, the learning through education, through life experience. So the forming of our concepts around life and the world, the forming of our ideas and our views, our sense of things, the way things are, all of those things, all of our experiences, both mental, of the mind and also of the body, being embodied, just as we've been meditating, feeling out. So helpful to feel out, what is it like actually to be here, to be embodied? All this learning, all this input, all these experiences are to be let go of, to be relinquished, to be seen through. And this is really a powerful concept to take on as practitioners. We both learn from experience and we're encouraged to let go of all of it. There's a very beautiful sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, number 88, Anathapindika Sutta. Anathapindika is a great disciple of the Buddha, and he was very generous to the Sangha. He gave a lot of his wealth. He was very wealthy, a very wealthy merchant, very successful, very well regarded in his community up at Savatthi in the north of what's now India. And he gave a wonderful park, big park, to the Buddha's community, to the Sangha, where there was a monastery in the time of the Buddha, where the Buddha spent many, many vasas, many rainy seasons. Rainy season being a time when the monks and nuns would settle down somewhere. For 3 months, they wouldn't wander around because of the danger of trampling crops, damaging the crops. And so they would choose a place, make a determination, and stay put for 3 months. And to this day, this is a rule, Vinaya rule for the bhikkhus, bhikkhunis. We have to determine from the full moon of July till the full moon of October to settle in one place. And so monasteries came into being in the time of the Buddha, habitations for the bhikkhunis and the bhikkhus, shelters from the rain, and they would situate themselves near a town or a village where they could go in for alms, do the alms round every day, walking along the roads, and can come back to the monastery. So the Buddha spent more time at Anathapindika's park than he spent anywhere else. I don't know how many vasas he spent in this monastery that Anathapindika donated, but probably something like 30 plus. And of course, as we know, the rest of the time, outside of the rainy seasons, he would be wandering around all over northern India, what's now northern India, what was in those days many different countries. And anyhow, so Anathapindika was extremely generous. He was a very devoted disciple of the Buddha. From the moment that he heard of the Buddha, without even having met the Buddha, he was thrilled to hear that such a person existed in the world. And he sought out the Buddha and made his offering and became a disciple straight away. In this sutta that I'm going to speak a little bit about, Anathapindika Sutta, he is actually very sick. And he was racked with pain. He had terrible pain in his head, he said, like somebody fastening a leather band around his head, or somebody stabbing him in the head. And he had terrible pains in his belly also. He said, like a butcher or a butcher's apprentice slicing him up. That's how it felt. Excruciating, terrible, and growing pains. So he called for the Buddha. He requested to pay respects to the Buddha. He couldn't do it himself. He had to send somebody else along in his stead. He was kind of confined to his sickbed. So he sent along a friend and asked the friend to pay respects to the Buddha and to request a visit from Sariputta. Sariputta was a great, obviously, disciple of the Buddha. He was an arahant, he was a bhikkhu, and he was particularly, had a particular rapport with Anathapindika. And so Sariputta went to see Anathapindika on his sick bed in his room and took Ananda along with him, another disciple of the Buddha's attendant, close attendant. So these two great disciples, great arahant Sariputta and Ananda, went along to see Anathapindika. And they gave him a teaching. Sariputta gave him a teaching. And I find this sutta really powerful. I call it the Great Letting Go Sutta, because Sariputta listed very methodically and clearly laid out for Anathapindika all the ways in which we can experience the world. It's a very comprehensive, complete kind of list. And he spoke first of all about seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and thinking. And he said to Anathapindika, all these six senses, all these ways in which we receive the world around us, and the contact, the coming in of the inputs from outside, contacting the eye, the ear, the body, the tongue, the nose, and the mind. And the consciousnesses that arise as a result of these contacts. So we see there's a sight, it's seen, and then eye consciousness arises. Ear consciousness arises with that which is heard. Taste, smell, touch, and mind consciousness arise as a result of the input and the sense door that's receiving the input. So Sariputta said, look at all that, see the six senses, see how they operate, see the consciousnesses that arise as a result of having these sense organs. And he said, and then you can notice the feelings that arise as a result of the sense consciousnesses arising. So we see something, it comes in, we're conscious of it, and then we have a response. We have some kind of feeling that arises in the body. It could be pleasant, it could be unpleasant, or it could be neutral. And Sariputta said, so all of this activity that's going on, he said, what you need to know about all of this is that you need to let it go. Let it go. Don't hold on to any of these experiences. And then he went on to list, the six elements: earth, air, water, fire, space, and consciousness. This way of looking at, of understanding, of experiencing the material realm. Anything that has substance, any object on this planet, including this planet, is made up of these six elements. The five: earth, water, fire, and air, space, and the consciousness that receives and perceives and is aware of at any time any particular material manifestation. And he said, all of that, all of the material world, Anathapindika, you should let go of it. Let go of it all. As soon as you have an experience arising in relation to the material realm, you allow it to pass away. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to anything, any object. And then Sariputta talked about the khandhas, the five khandhas. Most of you will know. It's another way of dividing our experience, of perceiving our experiences, mind and body. So the five khandhas of body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations or choices or concepts, the conceptual mind, and then consciousness itself. And again, he said to Anathapindika, so you can consider your experience in this way, in these five ways, and let it all go. Let it go. Don't make anything of it. Put it all down. And as Sariputta was speaking, Anathapindika started to weep. He had tears rolling down his face. And Ananda asked him, oh my goodness, you've told us how much pain you're in, how you feel that things are getting worse and not better. Are you fading, my friend? Are you on the way out? And Anathapindika replied, no, I'm not experiencing my life fading away right now. what I'm experiencing is great joy and great gratitude, because I've never heard you teaching like this before. And Sariputta said, yes, well, we don't tend to teach this to the lay folk. This is a teaching that's only given to the monastics, because they're really, wanting to practice seriously for Nibbana. We don't teach this to the lay people. And another Pindika, so moved by this teaching, so helped by this teaching, by the clarity of this teaching, the big letting go teaching, let it all go, let go of everything, don't make anything of anything, put it all down. He said to Sariputta, please teach this to everybody. Please don't hold back. And he said, just as the god Sahampati said to the Buddha, when the Buddha became the Buddha, when he became fully enlightened, the god Sahampati begged him to teach the Dhamma, didn't he, to us all, not to rest back, not to fail to make the effort to teach. He said the very same words as another Pindika said to Sariputta on this occasion. He said, there are people in this world who have little dust in their eyes. They will understand you if you teach them in this way. And so we have this sutta. This sutta has come down to us, and it's available to all of us. And it's a really, for me, powerful, clear, and complete teaching. Let it all go. Don't hold on to anything. And, it's a teaching for people who meditate. It's a teaching to really pay attention to our inner experience, what we know right now, in this present, ever-present moment. It's whatever's happening right now, whatever it may be, and noticing the repertoire that we've been given by the Buddha. You can only experience so much. One can see that all experience can be kind of categorized in just this way. That which is received through the sense doors, the consciousnesses that relate to the six senses, the five khandhas, the six elements. It's the complete package, actually, again and again. We can see these are very complete and holistic ways, of categorizing our experience. But the point is, we can recognize what's happening through these kind of helpful lists that the Buddha gave us of the ways in which we experience the world. But the point is to know what we're experiencing right now, and to be willing, whatever it is, to allow it to follow its nature, the Dhamma, which is arising, manifesting for a while, and passing away. Arising and passing. Nothing lasting, nothing static, nothing solid, nothing permanent. And to try to make things permanent and hold on to the flow of experience, this is the source of our suffering. And another Pindika lying there, on his deathbed, he actually died soon after this wonderful teaching was given to him. We're not lying on our deathbed necessarily right now, but it doesn't, the same teaching applies. This teaching is a timeless teaching, just like so much of the Dhamma. It's timeless. It's applicable here and now. It's relevant, always for us. So, he was lying on his deathbed. He's experiencing all this pain and suffering, and probably very much very attentive to the body because it's screaming at him on all sides. But whatever we're experiencing, we tend to get enmeshed, get sort of, make it personal, get immersed in our experience, hold to our experience. There's such a strong inclination to do that, whether it's through wanting more, wanting this to be bigger or brighter or better, wanting less, wanting to get away from, to finish with, to push away this experience. There's a impulse to grab or to push away, and it comes in again and again and again. And the encouragement is in this teaching to have the understanding, all that we need to do, all that we need to, the kind of attitude that we need to cultivate in order to follow the Buddha's teaching is the attitude of hands off, let it go, let things be, let things arise and pass, let things follow their nature, be part of nature. We see the Dhamma of nature all around us, the natural world. Can we be true to our human nature? Can we also be part of the wider field and not try to make it anything other than what it is? This is a profound teaching. It's a resting. It's a relaxation, isn't it? To be able to let go. And one can feel it physically, viscerally. We can note when we're cultivating the letting go practice, letting things be, then we can really fully relax. We're not tensing up anymore. We're not struggling anymore. We're not fighting with reality. We're watching, we're observing, we're witnessing. And this is our job. This is our duty as practitioners. It's all we have to do. Be the knowing, be the awareness. Give importance to the awareness. Really make it a priority in our lives. And it doesn't mean letting go, being aware as a priority doesn't mean we're not participating or interacting or manifesting in this world. But we can be much clearer about our participation. We can be that much wiser when we're first and foremost grounded in mindfulness, in body awareness, in breath awareness, watching the mind, being the mind, knowing the mind. And it's doable. It's really something that we can cultivate. And if we have in mind the letting go practice, we can truly notice very quickly when we start to identify with our experience, get enmeshed in our experience, lose ourselves in emotion, in reactivity, in obsession about this, that, or the other, and come back to that place of relaxation. Feel it in the body. Relax, cool down, calm down, come back to peace. And to come again and again to a place of peacefulness is a real call for us. It's a real gift. It's a gift to ourselves. It's a gift to everyone around us and to all that's around us. And with this peacefulness comes wisdom and comes clarity. And so we surely act, we surely participate, we surely manifest in the world, but we're manifesting from a heart of peacefulness, well-being. And then the actions, the speech, the work that we do is coming from a place that's resourced, that's grounded, that's clear. And we can call this right action. There's not a reactivity in it. There's no negativity in it. There's no grasping in it. There's no wishing for results, expecting or hoping for this or that in the future. No, we're present. We're here. Right action comes from presence. And it doesn't have a sense of the outcome. It's right action now, for now, because this is what's doable right now. And I think in terms of our kind of world situation, contemporary time that we live in, all the goings on at this time, it's very, very valuable for us to do the letting go practice and cultivate a peaceful heart, a relaxed heart, because, you know, it's very easy to operate from reactivity. We're a bit bombarded nowadays, I feel, by all the events unfolding around us. It's confusing and somewhat chaotic and scary to read the news. But if we're going to read the news, I think the way to relate to the world around us is to, first of all, come back, feel what we feel, let go, let things be, allow everything to come into the heart, but don't hold on to anything. And this is how we can really bear witness, you know, really learn from every piece of information that we're taking in, grow the wisdom, focus on the peacefulness, and then see, you know, then know, then let what's possible manifest, let the good come through, you know. The ultimate letting go, really, and the letting go that needs to happen, just like for Anathapindika at the end of his life, he had to let go of his life. We kind of need to let go of our life right now. We can wait till the end of life, but maybe it will be a struggle if we do, because we'll already have kind of really challenging, possibly challenging situations unfolding around us at that time. It's all a bit fraught quite often for people at the end of the life. But what we really can do to truly help ourselves is to let go now. And the big letting go is the letting go of the sense of agency, of control, of being, you know, a puller of the strings, a driver of the vehicle, you know, the one who's in charge, the one who knows best. This is the big letting go. And it's worth letting go. It's so worth letting go of all those impulses to make things a certain way, to feel the feeling that we know what's going on and we know what to do about it, and we have to do it. These compelling thought formations, these compelling views, these urgent matters need to be let go of. Let go of it all. Let go of it all. Step back, and right action, right speech, the right work comes from that place of true emptiness, you know. Oh, to be willing to, you know, let go of all our thoughts about what should happen, what's right, what's wrong, how it is. Can we let that go? Can we dwell in the unknowing? Can we allow that to inform us? Can we simply witness and not act, and allow right action to flow from that place? And my sense is that, you know, this is the teaching of the Buddha. It's all got to go. We want to have a hands-off attitude and let the witnessing and the knowing and the awareness itself be our refuge, be our abiding place, and let everything else emerge from that space, that empty, resonant, wise, radiant, and clear place. So that's probably enough now. Ewam. So thank you, everybody, for your kind attention. And I'm going to have a look at the chat now and see if there's any questions or comments to share with you all. Lovely to see you all. Okay, I've got a question here from Hassan. Thank you, Hassan. A friend of mine lost a lot of money in gambling. They still don't think greed is not good. He says greed leads to innovation and growth. Yeah. How can I convince him greed is not good for him? I mean, that's so interesting, Hassan. Thank you. It's a good question. It's so interesting, isn't it, that he's right. Greed leads to innovation and growth. Greed leads to acquisition and progress and all sorts of amazing happenings can come about as the result of wanting. The Buddha also pointed out that greed, wanting, is also the cause of all the strife, all the turmoil, all the wars, the violence, and the enormous suffering in this world. To this day, greed is what motivates people to harm one another in so many different ways. And yeah, it's interesting. I mean, greed isn't necessarily bad, but it's the cause of a lot of suffering. Greed could be good, but it's still the cause of suffering. And I think maybe kind of pointing out to him that greed is an energy that takes us away from contentment. It takes us away from peace, doesn't it? It's an agitation in the heart. And to me, that's, like clear that I would rather enjoy peace than enjoy wanting. But on the other hand, Hassan, maybe we all have to choose for ourselves what really gives us happiness right now. And maybe, for many people, what gives happiness right now is getting what they want. Getting what you want, that's the source of real happiness, until it isn't. And it's hard to convince people who are enjoying getting what they want that there's anything better than that. Peace is not necessarily everyone's preference. I think maybe ultimately it is, but it's a process. I think, people are at different kind of in different places, maybe in this process of discovering, what really makes me happy. And one can only discover that for oneself, So to enjoy material things, enjoy power or wealth or status, is a big, ultimate for many, many people, until it isn't, until they feel disillusioned by that, or they get disappointed, or different things happen to open the doors of the mind to the ubiquity of suffering that is to be found in all these things. I think we just have to discover that for ourselves. But you can maybe point him to some of the Buddha's teachings that you think, knowing him, might be of value to him, and wish him well on his journey. I hope that helps. I hope that's an answer that sits okay with you. Thank you from Poland. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for all your comments. This is a really lovely one from Japal Sin. Thank you, Japal Sin. How to participate and let go at the same time. Yeah, that's the perennial question, really. Yes, and it's a really important question because we don't want to spiritually bypass. We don't want to just turn our backs on the world. I don't need to participate in any of that. I'll just sit here and get enlightened. It doesn't really work so well for us. To dissociate, to be, indifferent to the way of things is not helpful for us. It's an obstacle to our spiritual progress. So how to let go and still be here, be present, be awake, be empathic, be deeply, intimately connected with what's going on around and within. This is really what we would wish to cultivate. I'm sure the Buddha was very sensitive and very aware of all the people, the situations, and all the suffering around him. We don't shy away from that. We don't want to get away from that even. We just want to observe what's going on. I do think the two go together. Actually, they go very well together. I actually think it's only through letting go that we can participate, truly. If we're holding on to anything, views, opinions, emotions, ideas, if we're holding on to anything, we're not fully present. We're not actually participating. We're not here. The only place where we can participate, the only place we can be is here and now. Now, And so to let go is to be present, to not have any clutter, to not be surrounded by clutter, to not have any blinkers or rose-tinted spectacles or whatever obscuring our vision, to be here. We have to let go. We have to keep letting go. Let go of every past experience and be present. Let go of future leanings, speculation, worry and stress about the future. We have to let it all go in order to be here. And to be here is to participate. And then where that takes us, what happens there, it's not really so much the issue, because that will quite naturally arise, I think, and emerge from this awareness. That's my sense. So thank you for that. It's a good question, and it's a contemplation for us all. How to let go and participate. Are they one and the same or not? I hope that's a suitable answer for you there. Okay. Sud, thank you. A question from Sud. Thank you for can you please kindly explain how development of wholesome qualities is related to letting go? One seems like grasping while other letting go. Thank you. Yeah, thank you again. Like a paradox, isn't it? It really is. How to let go and participate. How to let go and develop positive, good qualities. What comes to my mind is that the good qualities and the wholesome action are kind of like our natural state. We're naturally good, we're naturally clear-minded, we're naturally capable of right participation, right action. We get caught up in confusion, delusion, wanting and not wanting. And those things, those obscurations, those defilements of the mind will tend to confuse and kind of defile our ways of manifesting in the world. And so my sense is, again, that if we can keep letting go of the defilements, letting go of our ignorance. And our ignorance is not different from our ideas, our views, our opinions, just because until we're fully liberated, we're going to be observing the world in a sort of fog or a mist or a kind of in a slightly distorted way. So we do ourselves a great favor if we don't hold to our thoughts about anything at all, our views about anything at all, benefiting ourselves if we're willing to let go of all of that, even let go of path, even let go of teachings, our sense of what we understand, always remembering that there's more, there's more clarity coming. You know, the more we can let go of what we're holding to now, the more space we're going to make for a greater understanding, a greater wisdom to arise. And so I would say we could trust, you know, allow this friend, this Indriya, this quality of faith, of confidence in the path to come up, to grow. We can sort of rest back, knowing that if we practice these simple teachings, simple but difficult to put into practice, letting go, letting things be, observing, giving priority to mindfulness, if we do that much, then the good qualities have a chance to really manifest. There's nothing pushing them down. There's nothing obscuring them. The goodness that is the mind, you know, in its clean and clear state, can then kind of radiate forth. Yeah, I don't know if I've said that with very clearly, but I hope you can feel that that's answered to some extent. Do come back to me if not. Okay, thank you, Sid. Okay. Somebody, Bawani, hello Bawani, asking about my teachers and my training, etc. Well, that's a bit of a long story, but in short, I've trained for many years in Thai Forest Sangha, and I have a teacher in Thailand called Lumpur Ganha, who has been a great support and influence for me in my practice. And his main teaching and training is to let go. Let go. And the main aspect he focuses on for letting go is the aspect of selfishness. To let go of selfishness. This is so important for us. If we can let go of the sense of self, even better. But to let go of any selfish desires and wishes and to serve others. So to give, in short, to be generous and to serve the community. This is his teaching, his main teaching. He teaches many things, but his focus is very much on selfless service, selfless sacrifice of selfhood. So that's what I'd like to say in answer to your question, and I hope that is of value. Thank you, Bhavani. And okay, one more question. How perfect. We've got 5 minutes. I'd like to thank you, Amaranta, for your question. Here it is. I understand that emptiness has to do with non-attachment, to let go. So the right view is what we build through precepts to and let go. Okay. Yeah. Emptiness does have to do with attachment, to letting go. The Buddha spoke about emptiness, sunyata, in a number of the Theravadan suttas. And the Mahayana tradition has really developed this concept of emptiness. Emptiness primarily of selfhood, emptiness of the sense of self. Anatta is very close to sunyata in the teachings of that we have in the Pali Canon. So yes, Anathapindika was being encouraged to let go of it all. Let it all go before you die. Die before you die. Let go of the body. Let go of any thoughts that are coming up for you. Let go of anything that's coming in at you through the sense doors. Let it all go. And what is the end result of that? What is the end result of our process, our practice of letting go? It's emptiness of self. We're watching then. If we're able to keep in mind, let go of this, let go of that, let it be, what we're then able to experience is the emptiness of all phenomena, the arising and passing, nature, the impermanent, the ever-changing nature of all phenomena. And as we really kind of allow ourselves to dwell in this place of knowing anicca sanya, perception of change, then we can really see, everything's arising and passing. There's nothing solid or lasting in anything, any experience. Empty. It's empty. There is nothing I can hold on to. There's nothing I can grasp. And to really allow ourselves to contemplate this reality, this is the emptiness we want to open our hearts to, consider, see if we can experience that. And you say, so right view is what we build through precepts to and let go. Yeah, right view in the Buddha's teaching is to understand the Four Noble Truths. And the fourth noble truth is the Eightfold Path, which is the path of practice. How do we come out of suffering? First noble truth. We recognize the cause, second noble truth, and we let go, third noble truth. What do we let go of? We let go of desire. We let go of aversion. Let go of the push and pull. Let go of reactivity. Let it all go. And when we let it all go, then we can recognize the end of things, the end of suffering. And how do we get there? We follow the Eightfold Path. And this is where the precepts come in, as you so rightly mention, to help ourselves in this process. We want to develop all the 8 path factors. I've talked a bit about wisdom. I've talked a bit about meditation. And let's remember the 3 path factors that relate to sila, to virtue. We help ourselves enormously. We actually depend upon cultivation of virtue, which is simply doing good and avoiding harm. And the Buddha spoke about this as 3 path factors of right speech, right action, and right livelihood, didn't he? So we can really keep the precepts, avoid harm, through keeping the 5 precepts, and cultivate right speech, beneficial speech, wholesome speech, harmonizing speech, and try and do work that is of benefit to the whole. And these precepts, this aspect of virtue is so important, and it really helps us in every other respect. It definitely helps us with letting go. Because we have a mind that's more peaceful, that's free from remorse, that doesn't, cling to guilt and cling to memories of the past, all the things we've done that trouble us. So virtue is like the ground we stand on, and we want to make it firm and solid, enabling us to practice meditation, enabling us to develop wisdom. So thank you so much for all your questions. And I got one last one, how to let go of grudges. I think keep practicing. If a grudge comes into your mind, you remember something, you've got that feeling of whatever, anger, upset, feeling traumatized, grief, whatever feelings come up for you when you bring to mind or the grudge you have comes up, work with that. Be aware of the feelings. Be aware that they are suffering. You don't want to hold on to those. They're painful. And when we can be aware of the suffering in holding grudges, in those feelings in the body, we want to let them go. And it happens almost naturally, actually, if we stay with unpleasant feeling. It's on the way out already. So consider the letting go practice. Bring your grudge to mind and just work with it gently. Work with the body, work with the mind. And you'll see arising and passing there. And slowly but surely, we can wear away even the strongest kind of feelings of, entrenched feelings will slowly but surely wear away. So I wish you well with that. Thank you all for your kind attention. We're a little bit over time now, so I guess I'll say goodbye. But if anyone wants to meditate for a last minute together, have a quiet moment together, I will ring the gong in a minute's time. Thank you.